Mahā Pajāpati Gotamī Therī Apadāna by Jonathan S. Walters. Therī Apadāna, The Legends of the Therīs, verse 17, Gotamī, read by Dr. Marlai. One day, the great Lamb of the world, the caravan leader for men, dwelt in the Mahavana hall among Vaisali's gable roofs. The victor's mother's sisters then, the Buddhist nun, great Gotamī, was dwelling in a nun's refuge built in that delightful city. This reasoning occurred to her, thinking when she had gone off alone from liberated Buddhist nuns numbering 5 times 100. I will not be able to see the Buddha's final nirvana, that of the 2 chief followers, nor Rahul, Ananda, Nanda. Destroying life's constituents and letting go, I shall go to nirvana, permitted by him, the great sage, the Lord of the world. That reasoning also occurred to the 500 Buddhist nuns. That reasoning also occurred to nuns beginning with Kema. At that time there was an earthquake. The thunder of the gods did roar. Weighed down by grief, the goddesses who lived in that refuge for nuns, piteously weeping at that, shed their tears there in the refuge. And then all of those Buddhist nuns, after approaching Gotamī, placing their heads upon her feet, spoke these words they addressed to her. Sister, gone off alone. There we were sprinkled with drops of water. The unshaking earth is shaking. The thunder of the gods roaring. Lamentations are being heard. What then does this mean, Gotamī? She then told everything to them, just as she had reasoned it out. All of them too told Gotamī, just as they had reasoned it out. If it's desired by you, sister, nirvana, unsurpassed and pure, we too will all reach nirvana with Buddha's consent, pious one. Along with you, we have gone forth from home, and from existence too. Along with you, indeed, will go to nirvana, supreme city. She said, what is there to be said to women who are going out? And then, along with all of them, she quitted that Buddhist nun's nest. May the goddesses forgive me, who are dwelling in this refuge. This will be my final vision of this Buddhist nun's residence. I'll go to unconditionedness, where there's neither death nor decay. One doesn't meet the unpleasant, nor get cut off from pleasant things. Hearing those words, not passionless, those heirs of the well-gone Buddha, overcome with grief, lamented, alas, we have little merit. Without those women, this Buddhist nun's nest now has become empty. The victor's heirs now are not seen, as stars disappear at daybreak. Gotamī goes to nirvana along with the 500 nuns, like the Ganges flows to the sea with 500 tributaries. The faithful lay women, having seen her going along the road, coming out from their houses, then bowing down at her feet, said this: Great fortune one, be satisfied. Nirvana is not proper for you, abandoning us destitute. Distraught like that, those women wailed. In order to dispel their grief, Gotamī spoke this honey speech. Enough with your crying, children. Today which is your time to laugh. I have understood suffering, the cause of sufferings allayed. I've experienced cessation. I have cultivated the path. The teacher's been worshipped by me. I have done what the Buddha taught. The heavy load has been laid down, the ties to existence removed. The reason for which I went forth from my home into homelessness, I have now achieved that purpose, destruction of all the fetters. While Buddha and his great teachings are still around, nothing lacking. That's a time for my nirvana. Do not grieve about me, children. Gaudanya, Ananda, Nanda, Rahula, the victor, remain. The assemblies cheerful and close. The conceit of rivals is slain. The famed one in Aukaka's clan is exalted, the death crusher. Children, isn't it now the time for me to achieve nirvana? My wish I have had for very long is finally fulfilled today. This is a time for drums of joy. What then with all these tears, children? If you feel compassion for me, and if you all appreciate the great teaching's stability, then strong and fervent you should be. Beseeched by me, the Son Buddha gave ordination to women. Therefore, as I have shown myself, you all should follow after him. Having thus advised those women placed in front by the Buddhist nuns, going up to and worshipping the Buddha, she said this to him: Well gone one, I am your mother, and you are my father, hero. Lord, who gives the good teachings joys. O Gotama, I am born from you. Your body made of flesh and bones was reared up by me, well gone one. My flawless body made of truth was reared up by you, Gotama. I suckle you with mother's milk, which quenches thirst for a moment. From you I drank the milk of truth, peaceful without interruption. Great sage, you owe no debt to me for protecting and rearing you. To obtain such a son is what women desiring sons desire. Mothers of kings like Mantirta are sung into existence sea. O son, through you I have crossed over life, this oceans of becoming. Women can easily obtain the name King's Mother or Chief Queen. The name Mother of the Buddha is the hardest name to obtain. O hero, I've obtained that name. I got my wish because of you. Whether little things or big things, all of that is fulfilled by me. Having abandoned this body, I want to reach full nirvana. Give me permission, O hero, O disease ender, O leader. Stretch forth your feet like lilies soft, which are marked with wheel, gold, and flag. I shall make obeisance to you with a mother's love for her son. Show me your physical body. It resembles a heap of gold. One last good look at your body, then off I go to peace, leader. Marked with the 32 great marks, it was adorned in radiance. The victor showed her his body, a pale sun through an evening cloud. Then she laid her head down upon the soles of his feet, marked with wheels, which were like lotuses in bloom, as brilliant as the dawning sun. I'm bowing to the sun for men, the banner of the solar clan. When I have died for the last time, I will never see you again. Chief of the world, it is believed that women make every error. If there's any error in me, forgive it, mine of compassion. I beg you over and again for ordination of women. If I was an error in that, forgive it, O bull among men. O hero, with your permission, I instructed the Buddhist nuns. If I gave bad advice in that, forgive it, Lord of forgiveness. What's not forgiven to forgive in one who's adorned with virtue? What more am I to say to you when you're going to nirvana? Those who are desiring escape from the world in a pure and complete assembly of monks are like the fading crescent moon at daybreak, after having seen the ruin of its grasp. Like the stars and the moon around Mount Meru, the other nuns circumambulated him, chief victor, and after bowing at his feet, they stood there, gazing at the Blessed One's face. Formerly, my eyes and ears weren't satisfied by the vision of you, nor hearing your speech. But now, having obtained perfection, my mind is satisfied by the taste of the teaching. When you roar forth amidst the crowd, destroying the selfish conceit, those there who are seeing your face are fortunate, O bull of men. Battle ender, fortunate too, are they who worship your fine feet, which have broad heels, extended toes, and nails the color of copper. Fortunate too, O best of men, are those who listen to your words, imperfection slaying, friendly, honey sweet, and full of gladness. Fortunate am I, great hero, intent on worshipping your feet, the existential desert cross I shine due to the good teaching. Then the pious one explained her thoughts to the assembly of monks, and having worshipped Rahula, Ananda, she said, I am weary of my body, similar to a serpent's den, a sickness house, heap of disease, pasturing in old age and death, covered with varied flaws and drool, depending on others, actionless. Therefore, I desire nirvana. Give me your permission, children. Nanda and lucky Rahula, who were griefless without constraint, wise and unshakingly steadfast, reflected on the way things are. Woe on greed for conditioned things, as worthless as banana wood, same as a deluded mirage, fleeting and constantly changing. In flux are all conditioned things, insofar as the victor's end, the one who suckled the Buddha, Gotamī, goes without a trace. Ananda was then still training, fond of the victor, but still sad. Beseeching her there, shedding tears, he was wailing piteously. Gotamī is going, smiling. Surely then, soon the Buddha too will be going to nirvana, like a fire whose fuel has run out. Gotamī said to Ananda, who was lamenting in this way, O son, keen on serving Buddha, your wisdom's deeps as is a sea, and so you really should not mourn when the time for smiling has come. Son, through your assistance to me, I have realized nirvana. Being requested by you, dear, Buddha gave us ordination. Therefore, do not be distressed, son. Your effort is now bearing fruit. That state, unseen by the ancients, and likewise by rival teachers, is known by Buddhist young maidens when they are only 7 years old. So take your final look at me, preserver of the Buddha's word. Son, I'm going to that place where one who's gone cannot be seen. Once, when he was preaching Dhamma, the chief leader of the world's needs, at that time, compassionately, I spoke well-wishing words to him. Live for a long time, great hero. Remain for an eon, great sage. For the sake of the entire world, do not grow old nor pass away. The Buddha then said this to me, who had spoken to him like that. Buddhas are not to be worshipped as you are worshipping Gotamī. How then, O one with omniscience, should the thus gone ones be worshipped? How should Buddhas not be worshipped? Being asked, tell all that to me. See my followers united, vigorously energetic, constantly firm in their effort. That is worship of the Buddhas. Then, going back to the refuge, gone off alone, I reflected. The Lord who reached the three world's ends, like a united retinue. While then I reach full nirvana, let me see no hindrance to that. I contemplate in that way after seeing the seven sage. Announced to the Buddha, the guide, the time of my full nirvana. And then he gave me his ascent. You know the time, O Gotamī. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains, I am living without constraint. Being in Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The three knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. There are fools who doubt that women too gain Dhamma penetration. To dispel that wrong view of theirs, display miracles Gotamī. Then bowing to the Sun Buddha and rising up into the sky, with Buddha's ascent, Gotamī displayed various miracles. Being alone, then she was cloned, and being cloned, again alone. Appearing, then disappearing, she walked through walls, walked through the sky. She traveled unattached to earth. She also sank down into it. She walked on water as on land, leaving its surface unbroken. Crossed lake, she flew like a bird across the surface of the sky. With her body, she took control of space right up to Brahma's home. Taking Mount Meru as handle, she made great earth her umbrella, carrying twirling roots and all. She walked back and forth in the sky. And like the time when 6 suns rose, she caused the entire world to fume, as though it were the end of time. She garlanded the earth in flames. She took Mounts Meru, Mandara, Dadara, Great Muchulanda, all of them in a single fist, like they were tiny mustard seeds. She concealed with her fingertip the makers of both day and night, as though 1,000 suns and moons were a necklace she was wearing. In a single hand she held the waters of the 4 great oceans. She rained forth a torrential rain like an apocalyptic cloud. She made appear up in the sky a wheel turner with retinue. She showed Vishnu as the boar, and roaring lions, and Garuda. Being alone, she conjured up a boundless group of Buddhist nuns, making them disappear again. Alone, she said this to the sage: "Your mother's sister, great hero, is one who's done what you have taught, an attainer of her own goal. She worships your feet, Eiffel One. Having shown varied miracles, descending from up in the sky, worshipping the Lamb of the world, she sat down there off to one side. O great sage, I am an old woman, 120 years from birth. That much is enough, O hero. I'm reaching nirvana, leader." Astonished, all the multitudes, with their hands pressed together, then said, "Sister, you have great prowess at supernormal miracles." The victor, Paramuttara, the one with eyes for everything, the leader of the world, arose 100,000 eons hence. I was born in Hangsavati, in a clan of ministers then, furnished with all kinds of servants, rich, prosperous, very wealthy. Once, when tagging on with father, attended by a group of slaves, along with a large retinue, I approached that bowl among men. The victor, like autumnal sun, surrounded by garlands of rays, without constraints, that Dhamma cloud rained forth like the king of the gods. Seeing him, being pleased at heart, and having heard his lovely voice, the leader of men placed his aunt in the foremost place among nuns. Hearing this, for an entire day, I gave the neutral one large gifts and lots of the requisites to the chief of men with assembly. Having fallen down at his feet, I aspired to attain that place, And then the greatly mindful one, the seventh sage, said to the crowd, "This one who for a week has fed the world's leader with assembly, I shall relate details of her. All of you listen to my words. In 100,000 eons, arising in Okaka's clan, the one whose name is Gotama will be the teacher in the world. Worthy heir to that one's Dhamma, Dhamma's legitimate offspring. The one whose name is Gotamī will be the teacher's follower. She will be his mother's sister, the Buddha's wet nurse his whole life. She will attain the foremost place among the senior Buddhist nuns." Hearing that, I was overjoyed, and then as long as life, I served the victor with the requisites. After that, having passed away, born among the Davatangsa gods with all delights and riches, in 10 ways I was outshining all the other gods who lived there. Through shapes and sounds and fragrances, through taste and the things that I touch, in terms of lifespan, complexion, happiness, and famousness too. And likewise, through supreme power, I shone. Having attained those 10, there I became the beloved chief queen of the king of the gods. Transmigrating in the cycle, being blown on my karma wind, I was born in a slave village in the realm of the Gasi king. Every day there were 500 slaves dwelling in that very place. I was the wife of he who was best of all the slaves living there. 500 self-become Buddhas entered our village seeking alms. Along with all my female kin, I was thrilled after seeing them. All of us having formed a guild, we served those Buddhas for 4 months. Having given each the 3 robes, we transmigrated with husbands. Falling from there with our husbands, we all went to Davatangsa, and now in my final rebirth, born in Devadaha city. My father, Anjana Sakya. My mother was Sulekana. We left for Siddhudana's house in Kapilavastu city. The other women born Sakyan also came to the Sakyan's house. Distinguished among all of them, I was wet nurse of the victor. After having gone forth, my son became the Buddha, the world's guide. Afterwards, I renounced the world, together with the 500. Along with the Sakyan heroes, I witnessed the comfort of peace. They were the men who formerly had been born as our own husbands. Makers of marriage together, they've now seized the crucial moment. Pitied by the well-gone one, they experience arahantship. The rest of the Buddhist nuns there then all rose up into the air, come together like bright stars. Those women with great powers shine. They display their diverse powers like different types of ornaments might be displayed by a goldsmith, who is well trained in workmanship. After displaying miracles, variegated and many, having pleased the fine debater, the sage, and his retinue, then, having descended from the sky, having worshipped the seventh sage, permitted by the chief of men, they sat down in that place again. Hey, hero, it was Gotamī who showed pity to all of us. Perfumed by your good karma, we reach destruction of our constraints. All defilements are now burned up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains, we are living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for us. The 3 knowledges are attained. We have done what the Buddha taught. The 4 analytical modes and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. We have done what the Buddha taught. We are masters of miracles. O sage, so great. We are master of the divine ear faculty and knowing what's in others' hearts. We know all our former lives. Divine eye now is purified. All the constraints have been destroyed. there now will be no more rebirth. It was in your presence, great sage, that our own knowledge came to be, knowing meaning and teaching, etymology and preaching. Leader, you are surrounded by us, Buddhist nun, with hearts full of love. O great sage, give your permission to us to all reach nirvana. The victor said, what can I say to women who are telling me we are going to reach nirvana? Know that now is your time for it. At that time, all those Buddhist nuns, starting with the nun Gotamī, worshipping the victor, then rose up from their seats and went away. The world's chief leader, the wise one, with a large body of people, followed his own maternal aunt until she got up to the gate. Then Gotamī fell to the ground at the feet of the world's kinsman, and with all of the other nuns, performed a final foot worship. This will be my final vision of you, the Lord of the whole world. Never again will I see your face, the fountain of ambrosia. No more homage to your soft feet. I won't ever touch them again. O hero, chief of the whole world. Today I'll go to nirvana. What's your physical form of face? With things being such as they are. All conditioned things are like that, providing no comfort, trifling. She, having gone along with them back to her own refuge for nuns, sat in half-lotus position in her own superior seat. At that time, the laywomen there, fond of Buddha's dispensation, hearing her proceeding ahead, those foot worshippers approached her, pounding on their chests with their fists, loudly howling Peter's cries. Grieving, they fell down on the earth like creepers cut off at the root. Refuge bestower, Lord, do not leave us to go to nirvana. Bowing down our heads, all of us are begging you, O Gotamī. One lay woman, faithful and wise, was striving the most among them. While gently stroking that one's head, Gotamī spoke these words to her. Enough with this depression, child. Twisted up in the snares of death, impermanent is all that is, ever shaking, ending in loss. Then, having sent them all away, she entered the first altar state, the second, and also the third, and then she attained the fourth one. In order, moving higher still, the plane of space infinity, the plane in which perception's pure, and that where nothingness is seen. In reverse order, Gotamī entered all of those altar states, from the last back down to the first, and then back up to the fourth one. Rising up, she reached nirvana, like the flame of a fuelless lamp. There was an enormous earthquake. Bolts of lightning fell from the sky. The thunder was rumbling loudly. The deities gathered there wailed. A flower shower from the sky was raining down upon the earth. Even regal Mount Meru shook, just like a dancer on the stage. The great ocean was greatly grieved, and he was weeping in distress. The gods, snake gods, and titans too, even Brahma, art at that time, said, this one has now been dissolved. In flux indeed is all that is. The other nuns surrounding her who practiced the Buddha's teachings, they too attained nirvana then, like the flames of lamps without fuel. At last, attachments end up cut. Alas, conditioned things all change. Alas, life ends in destruction. In this way, people were wailing. Then Brahma and the deities went up to him, the seventh sage, doing what is appropriate according to worldly custom. Then the teacher told Ananda, whose knowledge was deep as a sea, Go now, Ananda, tell the monks my mother has reached nirvana. Then Ananda, who had lost his joys, whose eyes were filling up with tears, announced, while choking on his words, "Come together, O Buddhist monks, who are residing in the north, or in the east, or south, or west. Let them all listen to my words, monk, who are the well-gone one's heirs. This Gotamī, who carefully reared up the body of the sage, has gone to peace, no longer seen, just like stars when the sun rises. She's gone home, leaving behind her destination, Buddha's mother, where even he, the five-eyed one, the leader, cannot see one gone. Each with faith in the well-gone one, and each of the sage pupils are now to come, that Buddha's son, to honor the Buddha's mother." Hearing that, the monks came with speed, even those living far away. Some came by Buddha's majesty. Some were skilled in superpowers. Folks there raised a funeral bier where Gotamī was now laid out, in a good, lovely gable hut, excellent and made out of gold. The four gods, called world's protectors, hoisted the bier on their shoulders. Other gods, starting with Sakra, gathered inside the gable hut. There were 500 gable huts, the color of autumnal suns, which were built by Visakama for all of those great Buddhist nuns. All those 500 Buddhist nuns were laid out on funeral biers, hoisted up on shoulders of gods, lined up in the proper order. A canopy up in the sky was stretched out over everything. The sun and moon and all the stars were drawn on it in liquid gold. Flags of various types were raised. A floral covering stretched out. Flowers rose up out of the earth like incense rising in the sky. Both the sun and the moon were seen, and all the stars were twinkling. And even when it was high noon, the sun did not burn like the moon. Gods made offering of garlands, perfumed with divine fragrances, and honored Gotamī with songs, with dances, and with discourses. The snake gods, Titans, and Brahmas, according to powers and strength, made offerings to the laid-out mother who was in nirvana. In front were led off all of the well-gone ones heir in nirvana. Gotamī was led off after, honor witness of the Buddha. With the gods and people out front, the snake gods, Titans, and Brahmas, and next, with followers, Buddha processed to worship his mother. The Buddha's final nirvana was not of such a kind as this. Gotamī's final nirvana was extremely miraculous. The Buddha and monks won't be seen at Buddha's final nirvana. The Buddha is at Gotamī's. So is Sariputta, and so on. Then they built the funeral pyres made with all sorts of fragrant wood and sprinkled with perfume powder. Those great nuns were cremated there. The remaining portions and bones were completely consumed by fire. At that time, Ananda spoke this speech, which was very moving. Gotamī is gone without trace, and her corpse has been cremated, intimating that the Buddha's nirvana too will soon occur. Ananda, urged by the Buddha, placed Gotamī's sacred relics into her baking bowl at that time, and presented them to the Lord. Taking them up with both his hands, the seventh sage, the Buddha, said, "Just as the trunk of a standing gigantic timber-bearing tree, impermanent, breaks into bits, however massive it may be, so Gotamī, who was a nun, has reached her final nirvana. Oh, it's a marvelous thing. My mother, who's reached nirvana, leaving only relics behind, did not grieve and was not willing. Grieving not for others left. She's crossed the sea of existence. She's cool. She's in nirvana. Her torment is now avoided. Note this about her, O you monks. She was a very wise woman, with wisdom which was vast and wide, distinguished among Buddhist nuns. She had mastered the superpower called the divine ear element. Gotamī was a master of the knowledge stirred in others' hearts. She remembered her former lives. Her divine eye was purified. All the defilements were destroyed. She will not be reborn again. She had purified her knowledge of meaning and of the teaching, etymology and preaching. Because of that, she did not grieve. A rod of iron that's beaten, when it is glowing due to fire, slowly cools off, leaving no ash. Like that, it's not known where she went. No rebirth place can be discerned of the truly liberated, who cross the flood of lustful bonds, who have reached unshaking happiness. Therefore, be lambs unto yourselves, grace in the field of mindfulness. With wisdom's 7 parts attained, you all should end your suffering. Thus, indeed, Bhikkhuni Mahā Pajāpati Gotamī spoke these verses. The legend of Mahā Pajāpati Gotamī Therī is finished.